You know what time it is, man. Time to get into one of the most highly anticipated cases for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. This could be a little lengthy because there are a lot of details that I want to go over in this video. So let me stop running my trap and let's go ahead and get straight to it. Introducing the all-new Phone Rebel Gen 6 for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And of course, a huge shout out to Phone Rebel Philip and Everything Apple Pro for always looking out for your boy, sending this to me overnight. So let's go ahead and take a look at it because I want to really compare it to the Gen 5 because there are a lot of subtle changes that I think a lot of people will miss if you're just picking this up for the first time and you're checking it out. So let me go ahead and bring a 15 Pro Max version over here. So this is going to be the 15. This is going to be the all new 16 Pro Max. Now, the first thing that is going to be changed is now it is a seamless all I'm assuming it's going to be a seamless one-piece design. Now, when you look at the Gen 5, right here, you'll be able to see a seam where these cases are basically two materials conjoined together, all right? Now, when it comes to the Gen 6, this is going to be very seamless. There is no two-part type of molded together design. They have now made it a all one-piece, very smooth, seamless design, as they say on their website. And that actually does help a lot when we are talking about the feel in the hand. And that's going to the second point, is it's going to be a smoother design. Now, I know a lot of people, when they're talking about the Gen 5, it can have rough edges and corners and things that kind of digs in your hand when you're holding it. When you're holding the Gen 5, because Gen 6, one thing they got rid of was the little claws on the bottom. If you can see right here, you no longer have those claws on the bottom. Now, I'm technically not a big fan of that. I like having that just to have that extra reassurance that your back doesn't get scratched up, but it does allow a smoother feel in your hand when we are talking about holding it. It just feels a little bit better in hand than the Gen 5 version, which wasn't that bad, but you can definitely tell a noticeable difference. Now, next thing is going to be the reduced grip pattern. Now, some people may see this as a plus. Some people might see this as a minus. In my opinion, I think it's pretty fine. But when you look at the left, so the left is going to be the Gen 5, which has the blue hardware. When you look at this and look at the Gen 6, you can tell, and let me flip it over here without the camera control. You can tell that the grip pattern has been reduced greatly. Some people were saying that the Gen 5 was just a little bit too rough in their hands and it dug in their hand when you're talking about gripping it. You're not going to have that issue with the Gen 6 because they actually made these a little bit more subtle. They're not as rough as they were before. So that's always a plus. This is also going to be thinner and lighter than the Gen 5. I'm getting Gen 5, Gen 6. Thinner and lighter. Even though you have a bigger device, they made the case actually lighter than the Gen 5. So let's go ahead and bring the weights over real quick and let's see what they're working with. So we're looking at the Gen actual 6, 55 grams. And we're talking about even a slightly bigger iPhone. Bringing the Gen 5 over here, 58 grams. So that is going to tell you that both of these cases are very similar, but you can see where they kind of slim things up and did a little bit like that. Now, one thing that really bothered me was the Type-C port when it came to the Phone Rebel cases. This year, when it came to the 5, it was just a little bit tight, a little bit more compact. They decided to make a little bit more wider to fit most, if not all, Type-C cable types out there on the market. So you don't got to worry about it. Type-C cables was very picky when it came to Phone Rebel cases. I don't think you have to worry about that anymore. And other than that, just some slight design changes when it comes to the speaker ports. Now they're rounded without having these slanted edges. That's just a little bit of personal something that you want to talk about. So that's about all the differences that you're going to get coming from the Gen 5 to the Gen 6. All right, words, T. You know, I always got to say that. I need to put that on the shirt. Let me know if you'll buy it if I did. So that's going to be all the differences. Sorry that we're 4 minutes into this video, but I really want to tell you the big differences when it came to the Gen 6 compared to the Gen 5. But that's old news. That's for the 15 series. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So, of course, it's going to be their Flex, which is going to be that airmade design. I have the Tough Ultra actual camera lens protector up here with the orange hardware. That's how I'm deciding to rock out my Phone Rebel this year. But if you don't want to do this, the Tough Ultra just gives you just a little bit more protection when it comes to the camera lens. Now, if you want to take it even extra, they have that limited edition camera lens, and I'll go ahead and throw some B-roll of that camera lens protector up here. A little bit too beefy, a little bit too much in my opinion. That's one. And the second thing, it doesn't match the orange hardware one-to-one. As you can see right here, that's noticeably different colors, and it's not really going to match all of the orange button that they have going on, but it's a distance thing. You probably won't be able to tell. But if you want this, they offer this up for sale. I think that you can get it. I don't think it's limited anymore. So I decided to get the Tough Ultra. Just adds a little bit more to it. But if you don't want to do that, they still have your standard, more minimal camera rings that come standard when it comes to your Gen 6. If you get a Gen 6, this is how it's going to come with the matte black hardware. A little bit differences as you can see when it comes to the button. When it comes to orange, you just get a little bit more sauce when it comes to your buttons. All right, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and slap this phone up in here. You already saw the weight, 55 grams. Let's go ahead and do we even have to talk about that pop when we're talking about coming to a case? And let's go ahead and weigh it with the Gen 6 plus the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And let me try to run through these things and then weighing them together. 290, what I said 200. 295 grams, Phone Rebel Gen 6 compared with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. First things first, let's get into that late on the tail protection. Now, one thing about it, they got rid of the claws when it came to the back of the device, but the front, you're still going to get those 4 claws on the sides, smooth when it comes to the middle of your case, so you can allow for easy swipes and different things like that. So when you drop this phone, look, I've dropped the Gen 5 so many times. It's probably one of my most abused cases. Never incurred any damage. Everything has been just fine. You're going to have a slight lay on tail protection for everybody. You know how I say it. Say it with me in the comments. That does the do dirty talking to who you ain't supposed to be talking to on social media. You looking up booty on Instagram, all right? You want to turn your phone over when your girl come in there, then it's going to hold you down. You don't got to worry about your screen being damaged or anything like that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the fit of Phone Rebel, because there's one thing that they're always going to win at. That's going to be the fit when it comes to the case. All right. So let's go ahead and start off with the top. And you see it's going to have a little bit of budge, but don't worry, man. I've never had a Phone Rebel case deform or anything like that. So you're going to get a little movement. Coming down the sides, very stiff. You get a tiny bit of movement when it comes to the buttons, but it still remains very stiff. Coming on down, super tight, super tight. You're going to have a little bit of give when it comes to that camera control button. Cutout, not button, excuse me. I know you guys will correct me in the comments, and we're going to talk about it. But even with that button right there, the cutout, you still get a little movement, but that still feels very firm, not flimsy like I see on tons of cases. And coming down to the bottom, of course, you're going to get a little bit of movement, especially right here where that Type-C is. Everything is still firm. Let's go ahead and do the pop test. 1 corner, 2 corner, 3 corner. 4 corner. Hard to kind of pry those corners off to do the test, but that shows you that this case fits like an absolute glove, man. No case, it's just Phone Rebel is going to deliver. If there's one thing they're always going to get right, and that's going to be fit, and they knocked it out of the park again when it comes to the Gen 6. Did fit and Gen 6 kind of rhyme? I don't think that might have been baby whack bars right there. But let's go ahead and talk about how the buttons look. These are going to be the buttons, especially when you're talking about getting that orange kit. They're going to add just a little bit more sauce to them. Clicky. Buttons work just fine. You do not have an issue with it with those independent buttons, and you already know you can pop these out, swap them out if that is your thing. Now, also, you can swap these camera rings out, but it's going to require you to do a little bit of screwing. Now, Phone Rebel, those little screws just gets on my damn nerves. I'm not going to lie. I pop them out, I lose one, it hits the damn ground. I need some glasses and I can't find a screw. But one thing they do offer this year is giving you a screwdriver so you can actually install these. Before, you had to go source one of these for yourself. And in my opinion, I would still say go out there and invest you in a little kit like this, just so you can get a little bit more leverage on that screw. This little tool right here is hard to kind of get a hold of. You know, it's branded Phone Rebel, all cute and stuff, but I can't use this little tool. It just doesn't really work that good for me. Just invest in a little set like this. I'll leave the link for this down in the description below. Just makes your life a lot easier. But you can replace these out, and you know it does have those 4 screws. Just be careful when you're swapping them out, because if one of those screws drop on the ground, good damn luck, because they're absolutely tiny. Now, let's talk about that camera control cutout. As you can see right here, I really like the way Phone Rebel did theirs, not cutting a bunch of unnecessary material out to give you that camera control cutout. They made it very smooth, very tapered. So when you're putting your finger right here, it actually works just fine if you're a person who wants to go out there and use that camera control. I don't personally use it. The only time I press that button is for when I do these case reviews. That's when I press the button. All right, I ain't using that damn button. But I really love the way Phone Rebel did their implementation of that camera control cutout. Now, how does this case feel in your hand? This case feels good. because of those points that we hit on when we first started the video. Smoother design, a little bit lighter, reduced grip on the edges, but I feel like it is still plenty grip. Don't think that they reduced that the grip actually is worse. No, I still feel the grip is A1 and you won't have any problem holding this phone. It is thinner. I'm so glad to see the cases for the 16 series this year become a little bit more thinner. Phone Rebel isn't the only one to do it, but you can actually tell when holding this in hand. I think it feels good. No rough edges, because that back corner back here will always a rough edge, but since they kind of smooth things out, you no longer have to worry about that. Now, let's go ahead and test out the MagSafe magnets. Dropping it down on MagSafe, you already know Phone Rebel is always going to have those very nice magnets. And I forgot to say, it does have a soft felt lining on the middle of it and inside, and with some funky designs. They always switch the designs up, always a cool looking thing. Now, when it comes to picking this base up, I'm not sure if it's the actual camera lens that's getting in the way, but it is not going to pick this base up at all. It tries, but it just doesn't pick it up. I feel like over the years, the Phone Rebel magnet, even though they say they get stronger, when I do my little test, it never picks this base up. So I'm not 100% sure. Once again, this is not the most scientific way to test a MagSafe, but this is my dummy scientific way. Science for dummies, as those little yellow and white books are. I think they yellow. But I know this is the best way to do it. But trust me, man, I've used Phone Rebel cases for a very long time. You're not going to have to worry about the magnets. That's one thing that you're not going to have to worry about. Let's go ahead and bring wallets over here, if in case you want to see what the wallets are working with. So with this Airmed back, moving this wallet around, it will move a little bit when it comes to your MagSafe wallet, but I'm being a little bit extra, a little bit violent when we are talking about moving it around, but I think it'll be fine for a person if they wanted to pop a MagSafe wallet back up there. I think those Phone Rebel magnets will hold you down. Now, Mag Shake Shake test, which y'all all wait for, man. Let's go ahead and see what these magnets are talking about with the shake shake. So we talking about light shakes, all right? Not bad. Medium. I needed that. But as you see, it did shake off with medium shake. So even though it doesn't pass my MagSafe test with flying colors, that is just fine. These magnets will hold you down perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. Now, like I said, man, this is going to be the standard Rebel case with the, and let me get this, you got to fight to get the dang on thing off. And that's a good idea. You got to fight to get it off, all right? But if you want to have it more minimal when it comes to the way it's going to come out the box straight from Phone Rebel, it's going to come with this matte black hardware, which I feel like is a very clean design, keeps things very minimal. And if you don't want all the extra stuff that even goes on with the tough ultra lens, which I feel like this is just enough, just to be a little different, then go ahead and rock out with that. Also, it's on the website. You can go ahead and pick it up. So 50 bucks is what the Phone Rebel Gen 6 will cost you. But in my opinion, yes, the price does keep creeping up every year. Phone Rebel, let's stop it. Let's level set at this 50 bucks. It's going to be one of the best cases that you can get for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Grip, protection, design, interchangeable buttons, and just giving you that Phone Rebel just look and feel that all of us out there really love when we are talking about a Gen 6. So go ahead and pick them up. Not sure if they're on Amazon, but go to the Phone Rebel website and grab yourself up one. They are now shipping. So yes, we have endured the Phone Rebel wait. I wish one day when the iPhone comes out, we will have them the same week, all right? Because a lot of people will get this case and probably not buy anything else. So links down below, go check it out, man. If you buy it from that link down below, it will help your boy out tremendously because it is affiliate link, and that's just a thank you and a shout out to all of y'all who rock with your boy. You already know. But if you want to check out some other dope cases from Phone Rebel, another favorite of mine that a lot of people love, you want something a little bit more minimal, I'll make sure to leave the Phone Rebel Flex review video right here.